today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about life on Mars and how scientists find life on Mars. So when we think about life on Mars, some of us may think of green little alien men, but that's not exactly what they're going to find. Scientists are hypothesizing that when we go to Mars, we're going to find microbes in the soil maybe, in the ice, and in liquid water. So what we're going to do today is we are going to take a soil sample. I have a soil sample from outside where I am right now, and we are going to look and see if we can find some living organisms in it. All right, and we're going to observe different chemical and physical reactions. All right, so what we're going to do first is we are going to set up our experiment. So we're going to need 3 different cups. I have some clear plastic cups that I had here at school since I'm at Hammond High. You're also going to need a pack of active dry yeast. So I have this instant yeast that you can use when you're making bread. I have an effervescing tablet or an Alka-Seltzer tablet. If you are familiar with the bubble rockets, this is the same tablet we use there. And I also have some sugar. Now I only had sugar packets, but you would need about 3 tablespoons full of sugar. And I have some data charts so we can record what we find. You're also going to need a soil sample. Now I have a sandy soil sample that I had here at Hammond High from outside, but you can use anything that has maybe just a little bit of sand in it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put a 1/4 cup of my soil sample in each of my cups. All right, so now that I have my soil sample evenly mixed, it's about 1/4 cup in each, I'm going to go ahead and put a tablespoon of sugar in my first cup. All right, and this is going to be our cup A. So I have these sugar packets, but you guys can just use regular house sugar and just put a tablespoon in and just kind of sprinkle it on top. So since we've put our sugar in this one, we're going to label this one cup A. All right, and I just have a Sharpie pen right here, and I'm going to put a very interesting A on it. All right, so we have our A on that one. Our cup B is going to have our yeast and 2 more tablespoons, or 2 more packets of sugar or a tablespoon of. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle our yeast in. And you don't have to use the whole packet. I'm using about 1/2 of a packet just because my soil sample is a little bit smaller. Wow, that is a yeasty smell. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put my tablespoon of sugar in. And if we know anything about yeast, when you're making bread, to make it rise, you put yeast and sugar in it, and you put it in a warm environment. So now that I have my sugar and my yeast in this cup, we're gonna label this cup B. All right, and then in our last cup, our cup C, I'm gonna take this tablet and just kind of crush it up, and then we're gonna go ahead and sprinkle it in on our cup C. And then of course, we're putting in our tablespoon of sugar. All right, so now that we've created all 3 of our soil samples, what we can do is go ahead and do our first data sheet. So for this one, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna observe all of your soil samples. So you can touch, smell, don't taste them, definitely don't wanna do that because you don't wanna eat the dirt, but you can touch, smell, and look at them. And then on here, what you can do is you can write here. So for my sample A, I would write, it's kind of grainy, smells sweet, and let's see what it feels like. Feels like sand. So up here, I would write my description of cup A, and then here, I would draw a picture of what I see in my cup. Now, if it's kind of hard to see what's in your cup, what you can actually do is take a little scoopful out and put it right there, and kind of, what I like to do is kind of just smush it a little bit, all right? And then you can kind of look at it, and if you have a magnifying glass, you can definitely hold it over it and look at it and draw what you see there. All right, and you can go ahead and do this for all 3 of your cups. All right, so now that we have done all of our initial observing and looking and describing of our samples, we're gonna go ahead and add the water. So what you wanna do is you just wanna add enough water, and I'm gonna kind of try to use my spoon here. Add enough water just to cover the top of your sample. So mine's kind of soaking in here. All right, and you can kind of observe the changes that's happening. So I've got enough to cover that sample. I'm gonna go ahead. Now remember, this is warm water, okay? So you definitely wanna be careful with it as you're pouring it. All right, so now that we've added our warm water to all 3 of our soy samples, we can go ahead and fill out our next data sheet. So if we're going back and looking at our cup A, to me, it kind of looks like the sugar melted, right? But I don't see anything bubbling or any real change other than the fact that I don't see the sugar anymore. When I touch it, it just feels like wet sand. When I smell it, it kind of smells like wet sand. So I'm gonna write that in my description and then I will draw it again here. Now, when you go through and look at these, what you're looking for is you're looking for a big change. So here on my cup B, you can see that I've kind of got some, maybe it looks like bubbles there. My yeast is kind of changing and it kind of looks like, maybe my sugar is gone. I can't really tell because my water's a little murky. But you can definitely see that there's something here in this water, right? Now over here, you can kind of see that we've got a lot of bubbles, all right? And it looks like my sugar is gone as well. So I'm looking for bubbles here because these microbes in our water, or what we think might be microbes in our soil, when they eat something like our sugar, which is their food source in this example, it has to be released as waste. So here, our microbes' waste is carbon dioxide, all right? And that's why you can see the little bubbles because they're bubbles of carbon dioxide. Now here and here in our B and C cup, a scientist, if they looked at it and used this experiment, they would say that these have life. Now, we know that when we created the cups, this one we didn't put any microbes in. We didn't put anything living in this cup. That's just our Alka-Seltzer tablet, right? It bubbles when it's in water. Now this one though, we put our dry yeast in here. Now our yeast is a living organism, all right? And this is what's in the soil. So if I was a scientist and I saw these two cups, I would do a methane test, which is a search for methane gas. You could also do some more tests. So you could actually get out a microscope and see what's in each of these samples. And you could do different things like that. But you can clearly see the difference here between which soil sample might have some living organisms in it. So I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this activity, and I definitely would love to see your data charts in some of our calls this week. So I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this activity, and I hope you learned something.